makes no sense to pick your goal, pick your career, pick your life for the next 40 years. When you ask yourself, when you get out of high school, what am I going to do with my life for the next 40 years? What degree do I want to pursue in college so I can get a job in that field for the next 40 years, 40, 60 years, just so I can do what I actually want for 5 to 10 years? You ask yourself that. Society's norms, put that aside, and it makes no fucking sense. But the fact that it's been so normalized, the route of going through high school, picking a degree, then once you pursue that degree, you get that degree, you go into that field of either finance, maybe business, psychology, whatever that means. Maybe you want to be a nurse. You go into that field, and all of a sudden you're 10 years in, and you just don't want to do it. It doesn't feel authentic to you, but you feel tied into doing it because it's all you know, because you don't know what you would do without it. And maybe you're at a crossroads where you are picking that potential 40-year career and you have no fucking clue what to pick. The logic makes no sense. It makes no fucking sense. And I'm going to tell you right now that if you don't feel like you know your vision or your goal to the T, that is completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And quite honestly, I don't think you should have your goals figured out ever. I'm 21 years old. I don't know completely what I want to do with my life. I don't know what the next 5 years of my life is going to look like. A year ago, I didn't know what my today was going to look like. I was stuck in snowy Virginia. It's February right now. I just got off the beach. I was tanning for 2 hours, taking some client calls. I didn't know I was going to be doing this a year ago. And goals change. Goals will always change. But here's the thing that you're missing. Right now, there's a misalignment because you have to be delusional enough to make the commitment in your head that your actions, your habits have to be congruent towards your vision. But the question lies, what is that vision? How am I supposed to know my vision at 18, 19, 20 years old? The truth is, you're not supposed to know that vision. Not to say that you must know to the T what goals you're working towards, what reality you want to live out in the next 5 years. But that's not to say that if that changes over time, that you're not allowed to change that. I think back to when I was maybe 2 years old, 5 years old. I wanted to drive a monster truck when I was older. Do I want to drive a fucking monster truck now? No. But I had a vision in my mind. I had a goal in my mind. The broad goal was that I wanted to be in a financial position where I could buy it if I wanted. That didn't change. But the things that I wanted over the years, they definitely have. So that feeling of emptiness, that feeling of feeling like you're lost, I felt it. I've been in your shoes. It sucks because it feels like I was the only one going through this event in my life, this feeling in my life of not knowing completely what I wanted out of life and feeling forced in the position where I had to find out that vision. But in reality, it wasn't supposed to be like that at all. You're not supposed to know what vision you're supposed to go towards. You're not supposed to know what the next 5 years are supposed to look like. Fuck, you're not even supposed to know what tomorrow looks like. But the idea is that you have to have habits, you have to have actions that align with the vision that makes sense in your head. What does that vision look like? Something that feels authentic to you. Not something that your parents want you to do. Not something that you think you want to do because of what your environment normalized. If you live in a small town where 99 out of the 100 people in your town are farmers and that one other person is a businessman, and you want to go into business, maybe you want to own a consulting business, maybe you want to run a business-to-business agency that helps other businesses get more clients, whatever it is for you, just because because you are a product of your environment, but you tend to convince yourself in your head that you want this thing because everyone else in your environment wants it. I'll give you an example. Right now on social media, because I believe that your feed your algorithm is basically it's sad because it kind of exemplifies what you are, and it kind of forms your thought patterns and your paradigm, if you will. Your paradigm is how you perceive reality. What does reality look like to you? What are your thought patterns? What beliefs do you have? And sadly, the algorithm of social media has gotten so good to the point where your paradigm is kind of formed based on what your social media feed is. And you tend to convince yourself that you want things that aren't even aligned with what you truly want. Like if your parents want you to be a doctor or want you to go into law because it pays the most, but you don't have any interest in doing that, yet you push yourself into pursuing a degree of law because you felt like that was what you wanted to do because your parents forced that on you, that's not authentic to you. What you feel authentic towards is the things that give you fulfillment even when you aren't getting paid for it, when you don't feel like you're doing it for anyone else, but you actually feel something in your heart telling you that this is what you want to do. That is what it actually means to be authentic. And it's hard because you start asking yourself these questions like, what even is my true purpose? And again, you're not supposed to know this, but I would follow what feels good to you. What do you actually get fulfillment from? I benefit off of helping others, seeing others win. That increases my energy. That makes me feel happy. Like when I get texts from clients saying that, I pushed myself to do something hard today. I've been seeing progress. I've been seeing weight drop off the scale. My confidence is getting up. That makes me fucking happy. I feel that feels authentic to me. That feels purposeful to me. Not saying in the next 5 years that I will be doing the same exact thing that I'm doing today, which I think it won't be. But just to say that I'm following what I feel passionate about right now. And I'm building skills off what I feel passionate about right now. Because if I try to build skills off of a passion that I don't have any interest in, it's going to be very hard. Because it's kind of like, I've always hated math. I've always hated math in high school. And just education, right? I've always hated math. And whenever I try to force myself to learn math in environments that I didn't want to do, like, just being in a class in the third grade, or even, I think the worst class I went through was like, I think trig. I don't fucking know. I don't really care. But I remember I just hated it. I hated it because I couldn't see how it applied to the things that I hated it because I couldn't see how it applied to the things that I actually wanted. And because it had no purposeful intent behind the things that I wanted, I didn't see any value to it. But I love crunching the numbers on how my business is doing this month. I love crunching the numbers on how much money, what percent of my income can I put away for investments this month. I love those kind of numbers because it feels authentic to me. It feels like it is a part of me growing and, growing up my assets, my income. That feels authentic to me, and that includes math. So just to say that you have to have a vision, you have to have a goal of what you want in the next 5 years, but that's not to say that if you start going off track, if what you truly want over time starts to change, that's okay. And I'm going to give you something that I wish I knew from the start, but something I do as of recently that really helps me out is just monthly reviews, quarterly reviews, asking myself regarding the long-term goals I have set out, regarding the midterm goals, the short-term goals that I have set out. One, how far am I away from those goals? Did I accomplish those goals? Do I cross out any goals that don't make sense to me anymore? Like, I can't lie, for the longest time, I just wanted like the flashiest car because I was just all about status. But I realized that status is somewhat of a vanity metric, because am I doing this because I want it for myself, or am I doing it because I want others to realize that I have it? And I asked myself that question. The answer was that I was doing it because I want others to see that I have it. And now I feel a lot more drawn towards real estate because it builds up my assets. Those are the goals that I realign myself over the months of constant application of doing simple tasks every single day and increasing my paradigm, having deeper insights, having deeper thoughts, having deeper reflections, beliefs. And my goals start to change over time. But every single day, regardless, my actions and my habits have to align towards that vision. That is non-negotiable every single day, is that those actions, those habits that I have, they have to align towards that long-term vision. That's what I was missing, was the alignment. There was a misalignment in my head where I couldn't be consistent, where I felt stuck, where I felt lost, because I didn't know what that true vision was. But in reality, I just had to create some sort of vision. So my best advice to you, if you've made it this far in this video, if you still feel lost on what that vision looks like to you, build up the best possible version of yourself. Set a physique-based goal. Lose some weight, get in the best physical shape of your life, compete in a marathon, a half marathon, an Ironman, just to prove to yourself that you can implement a system, just to prove to yourself that you can stay consistent, disciplined towards a long-term goal. And those wins that you build over time, you know, waking up for training, even though that you feel sore, your body's telling you no, your feelings are saying like you don't want to do this. Those wins that you have over time of pushing the facts of you have to get the things done over the feelings of what you feel in the moment will give you the confidence to set any type of goal in the future. You will feel fucking unstoppable if you commit yourself to things as a physique-based goal or a competition, because you're proving to yourself that you can do things. Like, really, what is the greatest accomplishment of your life so far? Do you feel happy? And you know, build that within yourself, that self-integrity of, even if no one else is looking, am I gonna still get the things done? You know, I had a client text me that question earlier this morning. How do I know what my vision is gonna look like for the next 40 years? And it's a stupid question, because reality says that this is what you have to do, but that's not what it should be. But I hope this video gave you some clarity, some realization that even if you don't know the things that you want out of this life, that's perfectly fine. Set intention, set a vision, allow yourself to take action, allow your insights to get deeper, your paradigm to get stronger, and analyze your goals that you set, see if it still makes sense, and continue to just be the best possible version of yourself. I hope this video gave you some value, some insights, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.